For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes and anywhere else you download podcasts. Thanks for giving us a listen. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, everybody. I know, we're posting this on February 8th. It's the week leading up to Valentine's Day, but it's a super-sized Scribble this week. I gotta tell you, we are feeling the love. We have quite a few celebrity guests joining us on the show today. But before we talk about Valentine's Day, the Grammys are handed out this weekend on CBS. And so Nancy O'Dell, host of Entertainment Tonight, will be joining us. You know, we like to have her on to preview all these awards shows. And because the Grammys are on CBS, we thought, perfect. So Nancy will join us in just a few minutes to talk about, the snubs, the predictions, and who she can't wait to see on the red carpet. Spoiler alert, I think it's Lady Gaga. Because every time we have her on, she loves Gaga. So Nancy O'Dell is coming up in just a bit. And then to celebrate Valentine's Day, I thought, what's one of the love songs from when I was a teenager that I just really, loved? And it was I Swear. And then I got to thinking again, I Can Love You Like That. Both songs by the group All-4-One. And so it's been about 3.5 years, almost 4 years, since All-4-One was on the radio with me. And I thought, let's have the guys back. So we've got them coming up in just a bit, joining us on the phone to talk Valentine's Day and love and music. Can't wait for that. Now, Temptation Island is also back on television. You remember that from quite a while ago on Fox. Well, now it's back on USA Network, and Mark Walberg, host of the show, is going to talk about the latest round of competition, because it really is a competition. This was the show that was on before Bachelor on ABC, and I joke actually that Mark and Chris Harrison are the same person, and so I'm going to get to the bottom of this. But relationships have changed over the years. That's just thanks to social media and all these other different channels that people can communicate and meet others. So what's it like on Temptation Island this go round? Well, Mark Walberg will be joining us in just a little bit. Now, over on NBC, when America's Got Talent is the champions, you've seen that season. Susan Boyle is back, and so is Brian Justin Crum. I think it was 4th place that he got on his season of AGT, and fans are definitely showing him the love. We're going to check with him on the latest round of the competition, and on a serious note, there was the scary beating of, or the attack of Jussie Smollett from Fox's Empire, and Brian is an out public figure. So I want to hear his thoughts on this, and if he's scared, and just sort of what he thinks. So we're going to have a bit of a serious tone for a few minutes on the show, but we'll talk with Brian Justin Crum, and also his music, because he's got a really fun project coming up for Valentine's Day as well. So we'll check in with Brian in just a bit. And Steve Grand, speaking of out artists, Steve Grand, if you follow him on Instagram or you've seen his pages, you know that I think he's allergic to clothing. Steve Grand just did a sort of a residency in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, where we broadcast our radio shows from every year or every other year. Well, Steve surprised me on the radio shows not too long ago, and so we've got the segment for you here on the podcast, all right? That's the great thing about this podcast, is when things run a little bit long on the radio show, we can bring you it all here on the podcast. Have I missed out anybody? We've got Brian, we've got All-4-One, we've got Mark Walberg, Nancy O'Dell, and Steve Grand. It's a jam-packed, super-sized Scribble, and it starts right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
The Grammys are handed out this weekend on CBS. As always, we check in with, I'm going to say this, the queen of the red carpet. I can do that, right? Nancy O'Dell from Entertainment.
You're very kind. I appreciate that. I'll take it.
All right. Nancy from Entertainment Tonight is joining us. So this is music's biggest night. The stars are out in full force. Let me ask you first, though, who are you wearing this year?
I am wearing Mark Zunino, which I'm really excited about. He's one of my favorite designers. He has done a lot of different celebrities for the red carpet, and Sofia Vergara is one of the ones he does all the time. I don't think I have the figure that Sofia Vergara has, but we're going to try. But he's been doing my dresses, since I started in entertainment in, 1996. So he's doing a custom one for the Grammys because we'll be doing the pre-show. Kevin and I are doing the pre-show, so it will air 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS, the live show.
Yes. Okay, so who are you excited about seeing on the red carpet? Anyway, before you even answer, I'm going to say Lady Gaga.
How did you know? I am excited about seeing Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I'm excited about seeing their duet. That's what everybody's talking about. We did get a little taste of it by watching them perform together in Vegas, and he did such a great job. I was watching it with my 11-year-old daughter, and I said, he sounds really good, right? He sounds almost as good as the music, the recording. And she goes, I think he sounds better. So I thought that was quite a compliment to him, but I can't wait to see them do it at the Oscars is where they're going to be performing. So I don't think they're performing at the Grammys, so I should have said that. But I can't wait to see them together. And to see him nominated for a Grammy is going to be so excited. To talk to him something different than Oscars is going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to seeing Cardi B. She's always fun. Casey Musgraves, one of my favorite country gals. Looking forward to seeing her. Dolly Parton, I'm just announcing she's going to be doing this great collaboration with Katy Perry, Little Big Town, Maren Morris. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. So back to Lady Gaga for a second. We've talked about this where she hasn't really got much love when it comes to the film awards, but music, this could do it for her. What do you think?
Oh yeah, everybody's talking about that they're going to win for Shallow. I don't really see another one winning, but who knows? You just never know. They're going to a lot of incredible nominees in the categories that Shallow is in, so you never know. But I think that she will walk away with it, and she's a lot of fun. She's such a fun interview. She always has a lot of energy. She's always really sweet. She's always really fun. She's always seems so excited to be there and to be nominated. She seems surprised every time.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, somebody who's generally surprised, or at least the look on her face, is Taylor Swift. And people are saying that she was sort of snubbed this year. What do you think about her nominations? Because she's up for Best Pop Vocal Album for Reputation, but there's really no other notable nominations for her.
I know, yeah, that was kind of her one nomination, and we're so used to seeing her get so many different nominations, so it was a little surprising that she didn't get more because the Grammys do seem to like her. So people are talking about whether she's going to be appearing or not. She's kind of shied away from attending award shows in recent years. She didn't come to the 2018 Grammys, and then since she doesn't have a lot of big nominations this year, there's also the BAFTAs are the same night, and her boyfriend Joe Alwyn is nominated for a BAFTA in London. So people are speculating, is she going to be with him in London instead of coming to the Grammys? So no official word yet, but I would suspect that maybe she would not be coming, and Beyonce too. They're talking about the fact that she may not be coming because they are considering that her and Jay-Z's Everything Is Love was one of the award's biggest snubs. So it kind of got shut out of the main categories, their collaborative album. So
yeah,
we'll see if they're going to show up or not.
Yeah, well, as the Carters, I guess, is what they're going by. But that's the thing, though, right? You get some nominations, but there's really those categories that count, if I can say it that way, right? There's the big wins, the big categories.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about Album of the Year, of course, it's one of the big categories, and then there's, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best New Artist is always a big one, which I think is a fun category this year, and people are talking about a lot of different names as being the shoe-in for that one. I'm like, how are they talking about so many different names being the shoe-in? But there's a lot of people that are talking about, so I'd be curious to see who's going to win that. But those are, the big ones that people talk about.
Ariana Grande wasn't feeling the love. I guess she is and she isn't feeling the love. She's up for pop vocal album like Taylor Swift, but she's in the best pop solo performance category, which Swift is not. Do you think this is a case of one or the other? Was there room for both of them? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think there is room for both of them. I mean, the big thing with Ariana Grande, and it's just kind of brand new news, is that she has decided not to perform. She originally was slated to perform, and a source is saying that she wanted to do her new single, 7 Rings, and that the producers did not want her to do that particular song, and according to the source, they're saying that's the reason that she won't be performing. Who knows what the real reason is, but that's what people are saying, so she is pulled out of performing. That's the latest news on that.
Is this one of those artistic differences, they call it?
It sounds like it. Uh-oh. You never know, but it sounds like it. So that's a bummer. I always like to see her perform.
Yeah, always entertaining. Now, we had a question.
I don't think there'll be a lack of anything, because everything, the great thing about the Grammys, and I think what they've done so well, and putting together this show over the years, and especially, for the past 6, 7, 8 years, is the collaborations. They're always so incredible. You're going to have the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Post Malone, and then, I mentioned the Dolly Parton performance with Little Big Town Mary Morris and Katy Perry, and then, of course, you're going to have the very special performance with Diana Ross. So it's just, you never know what to expect, and I love when they put people from different genres together. It's always a lot of fun. So it's going to be interesting to see who all does the collaborations this year.
For sure. We had a question sent in. What is the difference between Album of the Year and Record of the Year?
Well, I know. Well, the Record of the Year is just one, but the Album of the Year is the whole album. Probably they mean Record of the Year and Song of the Year?
No, well, it says Album of the Year and Record of the Year, because those are two different categories, right?
Yeah, they're two different categories. Well, the Record of the Year is just the one particular song. So it's just, and the Album of the Year is the whole album.
Okay.
So, it's like the collective work. And the Record of the Year is just the single that you're talking about. But a lot of people get confused, Song of the Year and Record of the Year. So I'll explain that one. Record of the Year is for the particular song and the tune and, how it comes out, like the song itself. And then the Song of the Year, so the Record of the Year is for that. Like, when you hear it, you're like, okay, Shallow, what an incredible record that is. Yeah. The Song of the Year is for the writing. So it's for the writers. That's actually, the award goes to the writers of the song. So that's why you have two different categories. Two different nominees in Record and Song of the Year.
No, this is why we have Nancy O'Dell on the phone. That's what we're doing.
Explain it all, right?
Well, now, on that subject, though, 21 Savage, this could be awkward, because he's in there for Record of the Year, right?
For Record of the Year,
with
21 Savage, yeah. Post Malone featuring 21 Savage?
Right. So, this could be one of those awkward situations where, you're winning, but you're detained at the same time. Do you think this is going to be a talking point, though, when people are taking the stage and winning? Because obviously, people like Jay-Z have spoken out. Other artists have kind of backed 21 Savage. Do you think they'll use this as a soapbox moment? Yeah,
you never know. You never know. Sometimes the award shows, they do. Other times they choose not to. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting. And, of course, they'd have to win in the category, for them to have that moment to talk. So
yeah,
just a wait and see kind of thing.
We have just barely about a minute left, but I want to do a quick rapid-fire round here. Give me the first word that comes to your mind when I say these artists' names, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Kendrick Lamar.
Talented.
Childish Gambino.
Fun.
Backstreet Boys.
Oh, forever.
So I was wondering that could go either way, because they're up against Lady Gaga, right? In a category?
Yeah, true. True. The Backstreet Boys, they're like forever, meaning that they're forever around and they don't ever seem to get old.
Absolutely.
I should say forever young. And what in the world is in your water?
Okay, and then on the subject of Lady Gaga, Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett, classic.
Oh, okay, then I was going to say Barbra Streisand next. Different word.
Oh, gosh, just diva in all the right ways.
All right. Well,
That's more than one word, but why not?
She deserves more than one word, I think, is what we're saying.
I think she does. And people, have no idea, like one of the sweetest ladies through the interview. She really is. Like, you think Barbara Streisand. No, she is that's why I say diva in all the right ways, because she can be a diva if she wants to, but when you talk to her, she's so far from it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned the red carpet coverage. What else do you guys have planned on CBS? Entertainment Tonight, of course, covering the awards.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing the live pre-show the hour before the Grammys itself, so you get to see all the red carpet and see who bumps into who and who's a star of who on the red carpet and what all they're wearing, which is always fun at the Grammys in particular, because you can expect some wild outfits. Then you have the Grammys themselves on Sunday, which is going to be an amazing show on CBS. And then on Monday, we will have the entire wrap-up on Entertainment Tonight. So the whole show will be Grammys, and you'll get to see all the behind-the-scenes action. You'll get to see the interviews with the winners. You'll get to see the parties that took place afterwards. We'll break down all the fashion for you. So it's just, it's always one of our best shows. So be sure to tune in for that on Monday.
You heard it here. Nancy is not sleeping all weekend, everybody.
That's right, basically.
We'll be watching, and thanks so much for joining us again, Nancy. Great to talk to you.
It's always good to talk to you, too.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Well, with Valentine's Day here, I thought it would be fitting that we talk with the original. He is the original host of these love reality shows, Mark Walberg from The Bachelor. I'm sorry, from Temptation Island. Mark, how could I do that?
You know what? It's a very thin distinction, so I get it.
I'm just teasing. The other day I tweeted Mark as saying that I think that him and Chris Harrison are the same person, and you didn't really do much for that conspiracy theory. You're kind of making me think that it's true.
Well, I tweeted back to you saying, facts are nobody's seen the two of us in the same place. So, I think conspiracy only helps ratings. And listen, Chris is a sexy beast, so any comparison I have works for me.
But no, let's be honest though. Temptation Island did start. I guess it was about a season before, or 1 year before The Bachelor, though. But they're two completely different shows.
They are. I mean, what happens, the incarnation of it all was that Big Brother came out and then Survivor came out, and then Fox said, hey, let's do sort of a Survivor field show that's a dating show, and Temptation Island came out. It was a big hit for Fox, and then Bachelor came out, and of course the story, The Bachelor is huge. But back in the day, it was one of the original reality dating shows before we even knew what reality was going to be.
This really was sort of the Survivor of its time in terms of relationship reality shows, because it was kind of the first go round, and everybody was like, I can't believe what we're seeing on TV. We just never seen something like this before.
Yeah, it really, I kind of laughed because at the time there was a syndicated show called Change of Heart that, was on the air and nobody really saw it as controversial or anything. When I first saw Temptation Island, I said, this concept is sort of like this, but, on steroids. And
right.
I think originally audiences thought that the couples were married before the show aired in just the promos. And so there was all this buzz about how could they do that. Then when they realized people were just dating and were in relationships that were only committed at the dating level, it became a little more palatable. And the show was just a huge hit back in 2001.
Well, let's just sort of set this up then for everybody, because you've got a bunch of four couples, right? 4 couples on the show?
Same as it was before. We've got 4 couples, all in committed long-term relationships, but they're at a crossroads, not sure if they want to continue. So they choose to come to Temptation Island, and then they are given the opportunity to be single again. So the 4 guys go to live in one villa with 12 single eligible women who are looking for love, and the girls go and live in another villa with 12 eligible single men looking for love. And they date them and eliminate them, and then at the end, they come back together and decide, hey, after this journey, do we still want to be together, or should we leave with somebody else?
We'll talk about the proposal ultimatums that are causing a bit of trouble in a second. But let me ask you, though, because we've seen how relationships have changed over time, especially on these types of shows. People are kind of coming on for fame, let's say, or just the exposure anyway. Have you seen a change from that first go-round of this show to now? Or is this genuine? Because these are people that are in relationships, but I'm talking the singles. Why are they coming on, do you think?
Well, I tell them all, when I see them, and, sometimes I think it happens on camera, but a lot of times it's in between the takes. And I say to them, look, whatever your reasons for coming here, they could be twofold. There's the one you tell producers, which is we have trouble with our relationship or we're looking for love. And there's the truth, which is it's all that plus being on TV might help your career, you get more followers, whatever. And what I say to them is, regardless of what brought you there, the show gets real really quickly. And so, for the couples especially, if they thought, hey, we'll just kind of glide through this and, it's not a lot of risk, we'll pretend, it gets real immediately, and then they either are grateful that they did it or wondering what choices they made. For the singles, like any reality show, there's a lot of benefit to being on TV, but it's so hard to get on these shows that I'm very sure that the producers have done a good job of vetting to people who also are looking for the possibility of love, just like The Bachelor has to do.
And there are some ultimatums, as I mentioned. This season we saw Casey with the proposal thing, and drama really ensues.
Lots of drama.
What do you think about these giving an ultimatum?
Drama ensues and continues to ensue throughout the entire season.
Let me give you each of the couples, and I want you to describe their relationship, I guess, in general, in one word. So, Evan and Casey.
John and Katie?
Okay, I said it. All right.
Gosh, I haven't been asked this. I have to do it. I have to be careful here. John and Katie. Gosh, I would say kind of, I hate to say superficial, but, seems like a young, new relationship.
Okay, Evan and Casey.
Evan and Casey, drama.
Because it's 3 years, isn't it, for them?
I think they've been together or in each other's lives for longer than that. And through some incredible life roller coaster things. It's no secret that Evan's father was a victim of a murder, and there's a lot of drama with that, and she was there with him through all of that. So, they have history together for sure.
Now, I mean, as sad as it is to say, things like that can really make a couple stronger.
Well, life's journey either makes a couple very strong or breaks them apart. Because the journey of life is a really messy, rocky road, and the whole point of being in a relationship is that you need a partner to get through it.
Right.
So, it either brings you closer or makes it more difficult.
Yeah. Next up, I guess, Carl and Nicole.
Carl and Nicole fit. That's what I would say. Those two are beasts. They're in great shape. I know that doesn't really describe them as a couple. But I guess age or maturity is the issue for them.
Right.
I guess would be a word I'd say, because he's a little older than she is, and that's a concern, that he's like, enough of this dating, I'm ready to kind of lock this down, and have certain expectations of her. She, on the other hand, is young, although she's a very mature, young 25-year-old, I think she is. But she's still, trying to figure out what love is. So I guess maturity would be what I'd say with that.
And then, who's the last one?
Javen and Shari.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to have to say comedy. It's unexpected to me. And by the way, as I watch the show on the air, I'm seeing Javen's sense of humor, right? Mostly Javen.
Yeah.
And on the island, I got little moments of it, but, you seem so serious all the time. So I really enjoyed watching him.
Of all of the singles, who would you most want to stay away from you in a relationship?
Stay away from me?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I can't answer that. I must tell you that I had limited time with the singles, but both the guys and the girls, I really found something interesting and authentic about each one that I met. And I thought to myself, this would be hell if I were single trying to figure out, of course, there are the ones that are your type and your flavor and the ones that aren't. But I really, there's not a whole lot I could say, stay away. I can't say that some of the women are aggressive and strong, and I would probably, if I were a single guy, that might be a little much for me.
Okay, all right. So what's coming up the rest of the season? I guess, like you say.
Political answer.
Well, I was gonna. Yeah,
that's about as best.
That was. We'll call that a non-answer.
Yeah,
what's coming up the rest of the season? You said lots more drama.
Oh my! Well, I mean, the first 2 or 3 episodes sort of set the tone, and you get an opinion of these couples and where they're going. But as these couples get more immersed in the experience of being single, the drama gets nuts. And I'll say this, that there are 3 possible outcomes at the end of the show. They're either going to realize they need to be together and stay together and make a commitment, or they're going to realize that they shouldn't be together but they haven't found love, or they're going to realize that they shouldn't be together and they have found someone else. And I can tell you that you should stay tuned because all 3 of those things are in play to the very end.
And here's the deal. There's 4 long-term couples on the show. You've already got a better track record than The Bachelor.
There you go. So if we did it by the numbers as a public service of what we're doing is trying to help America one couple at a time, mathematically we may have the edge.
There you go. Look at that, everybody. See? There you go. And finally, one more question. Who would win in a fight, you or Chris Harrison? If you two were in fact different people.
If in fact it's proven that we are different people and not alter egos, and we were to get into the fight,
yeah.
But I think he might be a little taller than me. I'm not sure. I don't know what training he's had, but let's pretend neither of us have had training.
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to be maybe one of the most pitiful fights you ever saw, but I feel confident.
He's just going to try to hit you with a rose or something, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but see, that's a weapon. He's got thorns.
Yeah.
What have I got? I got like beads. That's about all I can throw at him.
So wait a second. Have you never met Chris Harrison?
I have met Chris Harrison. He's a good guy. In fact, I made that joke with you, but I made something similar. Many years ago, both of us were doing the red carpet at the Golden Globes, but neither of us knew that we were booked, and we were booked in separate parts. And at one point, I had to throw from my location to his location. And I think I referred to the fact, and for the first time ever, you can see that there are actually 2 of us.
Wow. Okay. Well, all right. Well, as long as you 2 are cool.
Footage that may or may not exist. It's sort of like the lunar landing. You can, is it doctored footage? Is it real? I don't know.
Oh, all right. I just have this feeling he's going to call in later in the show and give me crap. But anyway.
I have a feeling he's going to call me and give me crap.
Good. Better you than me. We're going to be watching Temptation Island is back. Mark, when can we catch the show?
We are on USA Network Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock, 9 Central.
And I guess, and it's also fun to tweet along, right? Everybody's doing that.
What I love is that we have 12 single guys, 12 single girls, and the 4 couples, and this is a big difference from when we originally did it. Social media is insane, so the Facebook pages and the Instagram are that's as much fun as the show.
It is. All right. Well, we're going to be watching Temptation Island on USA Network. Mark Walberg, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
we're celebrating the most romantic day of the year, and so I thought we should check in with All-4-One. You know, I remember them from my high school days. I Swear, I Can Love You Like That. Classic songs from my generation. Jamie Jones and Alfred Navarez are joining us on the line. Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. We're good. We're doing great, man. We're excited to do the Valentine show.
Well, yeah, thanks. And I had to...
As we speak.
I had to check, though. The last time that we had the group on the show was August 5th, 2015. You guys had a new album out, so I'm glad that we could check in again. As you said...
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, as you say, it's Valentine's Day, and we're happy to have you here. So, relationships need a bit more love these days. That's why we're celebrating Valentine's Day on this show. There's too much hate in the world. We need more love. What do you think, Jamie?
I have to agree with you, man. We always could use a little more love, and you're completely correct. You know, in this day and age right now, there's so much hate and animosity and all this other stuff going around. So, you know, anytime we could be part of that love train to get everybody just, you know, forgetting about everything else and you know, worrying about what's real, what we should be worrying about, which is a little more love.
That's right. All right. So let's talk love then, Alfred. I have to know what you were like in relationships. What kind of a boyfriend were you? Into the romance? Were you like writing love notes? What were you doing?
Yeah, I would definitely write love notes. So, you know, bring little gifts and, you know, go out to movies, have dinner, you know, that type of vibe, and just really just talk sweet to her and you know, and treat her nice, treat her right.
It's interesting how relationships have changed, right? Because, you know, how many times do we handwrite a letter to somebody? But I remember that from my junior high school days, where you'd go to your locker, there'd be a note slipped in it. None of this texting stuff and social media that everybody's hooked on.
You know, I mean, times are always changing, and that means that everything else changes with it. And you're right, you know, I mean, when I was a youngster, if I liked somebody, you know, I would fold up a piece of paper in 8 different ways.
Right.
And write on the thing, and, you know, I love you, and you choose this square, it might say I do, and you choose this one, it might say I don't. Now, you know, the kids are on Instagram or on you know, all the rest of these grams and Twitter and all that good stuff, and now they just, you know, as they like to say, they slide into the DM to do it there, you know. But back in the day, you know, you had to talk to your boys and take about 12 deep breaths, and, you know, you had to go handle your business in person. You know, now, you know, not so much.
Well, that was the thing, right? When you had to make a phone call, you know, you could be really nervous, you know, or is their mom going to answer? Is their brother going to answer? And now you have that direct access because they have a cell phone, and so you just shoot a text. And so, you know, it loses some of that innocence, I think, now. It's so just casual. I'm going to put you...
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Alfred. If you could give yourself one piece of relationship advice from all of your experiences in life, what would you say? What would you tell the teenage Alfred?
Teenage Alfred, listen to your girl. And that's pretty much it. I mean, because I already treated her right. But the only thing that I missed was giving her my ear. I listened with my ear and actually, you know, basically, yeah, just listen with my ear and did what she asked me to do and be a better person in that aspect.
Jamie, do you have any advice for yourself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I would say, I have a saying that I say to a lot of young artists when they walk in my studio, and I tell them, I say, listen, you got to remember the word no is just a word. You know, it's not a gun, it's not a knife, like, it's not going to physically hurt you. Now, it might hurt your heart a little.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just a word, so, you know, don't be shy. You know, you go do what you got to do. And if I could talk to the young me, I would say, what Alfred said, you know, you got to listen a little, as they say, listen more and talk less.
Right.
And then, you know, just remember, it's, you know, no, it's just a word. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you'll find somebody to say yes.
Okay. We had some questions sent in here. This one is for both of you from Jessica. How old were you when you had your first kiss?
Ooh. Well, here's the thing. I was different than most boys. I came out the womb liking girls.
Okay.
And honestly, I used to chase the girls around in kindergarten, kissing them. And I got my teacher called and told on me.
Uh-oh.
I got in trouble. I had to stop doing that. But I was kissing at a very early age.
Okay.
Yeah, for myself, around 14 when I got my first kiss. I was very square when I was a kid. So,
do you remember though? Like, were you nervous? Like, what was going through your head?
It was more of a surprise because she came in and got a kiss from me. Like, oh, and then I was just shocked and awe for the rest of the day. I felt like I was in space or something. I was like, wow, incredible.
Wow.
Now, I will say this. Now, my first real kiss, I was actually 12, and it was on the church bus. And and the girl I was kissing, her mama was the church bus driver, and we had jackets over our head. As Thompson said, "I see y'all with the jackets over your head. You get the jackets off your head right now. I know what you're doing there." And then they took the jackets off, and I was all teeth. So yeah, she was right. She knew exactly what was going on.
I was gonna say, yeah. Nothing suspicious about jackets on your head, though, on the bus. Nothing suspicious about that at all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, not at all in the church van.
Oh, boy. We have another question here. Oh, I like this one. I don't know if there's an easy answer for this one. How do you know when you're in love? Oh.
Ooh. Wow.
We're going deep today.
I'll let you
I would just say you just kind of know. I don't know. It's a feeling you have inside, and if you click with your girl or your woman, that's it. It's no for me, it's no like real explanation that would tell you. You just know.
Yeah. It's just a feeling. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say for me, I figured not only is it a feeling, but when you also got that feeling of I want to make that person so happy that I think of them before I think of myself. That I want to make sure they're good first before I'm good. And when you get sad every time you leave them, or when you're by yourself, every thought you have, they're in it. I think that's when you know it's love.
Nice. Okay. Another question here. What is your ideal Valentine's? Dinner and dancing or Netflix and chill?
Well, for me,
both of you.
If it were up to me, it'd be Netflix and chill.
Okay.
For me, it'd be dinner, movie, and dancing. Why not? Yeah, it's fun.
And then Netflix and chill at home. There you go. Do it all.
And then Netflix. That's right.
It's going to be an early night. You got to make it a late night. Let's talk. Let's talk music now. Like I said, when you were last on the radio with us, you guys had a new album coming out, and that was a few years ago. So what's on the go now? Are you working on any new music? I know you have some tour dates coming up.
Well, in 2015, when we last spoke to you, we had released an album called 20 Plus.
Yeah.
And we had called it 20 Plus because, it had been more than 20 years for us, but it was not yet 25. To be honest, it was our 22nd year. And actually, 21st and a half or something like that. So we still really love that album, and we still want to share it with people. So what we're doing now is we're actually working on a 25th anniversary edition where we're going to take, some of the songs from that album that we actually really love, as well as we are working on some new music, and we're going to put it all on the same album, and we'll be releasing it here soon.
Nice. We're almost out of time, but we're going to sneak in one more question here. What's your favorite song to perform with the group? That can be for both of you guys.
Oh, nice. Go ahead, Alfred.
For me, I like Fear No More. I mean, it's not our song, but when you sing it on stage, there's a harmony that I I just can't place that. I really love that song and the way we sound singing that song. Fear No More.
Yeah, and that was a song from, I believe it was from a second album from Enemy Speaks, I think. Was it, Alfred, or was it from the third album?
Well, I believe it was the third album.
Yeah, maybe it was, On and On. And it was a song that was done by the legendary gospel group called the Winans, and they taught it to us, and then we recorded a version of it. For me, it's funny. There's an old song, it's a song I wrote called Oh Girl. When we get a chance to do that song, it's actually one of my favorite songs to do. But I also love singing I Swear as well, and that's actually more because of the reactions we get. That song, for us, it's so second nature for us to sing that song now that when we can sing it and completely be thinking of something else. And I love to look out in the audience when I see people reacting to it, and I think to myself, what does this song mean to you? And of course I want to do my best that much more for them, but it's always very interesting to me when I see people reacting to it, and I wonder why, and they're reacting the way they are.
All right. Well, we're going to be listening to your music for Valentine's Day, of course, right? And and also we'll be checking out your website for the tour dates. Quickly, what is the website address?
So the website address is www.all4-one.com. So all4one.com.
All right. We'll be checking it out, and we'll have to talk to you guys again when you've got new music out, okay?
Awesome.
All
right.
All right.
Thank you, and thank you to all of your listeners, and we hope everybody has a blessed Valentine's Day.
Yes. Jamie and Alfred from All-4-One, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
The celebrity phone is lighting up, and you know what? Being our Valentine's show, it's the dreamy Clay Aiken. Let's go to the phones. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Jeremy. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, thank you. This isn't Clay. Hi, who's this?
I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is not Clay.
Oh.
This is it's just Steve Grand.
Oh, just Steve Grand. Thong models Steve Grand is joining us on the line for Well, happy Valentine's Day, Steve.
I'm sorry to be such a letdown and not be Clay Aiken.
Well, you know what? Things are looking up now. I can tell you now that you're on the phone, all right? Well, happy Valentine's. Let's talk Valentine's Day then. Are you one of those people who gives into the holiday, or do you just think that every day should be Valentine's Day?
I mean, I think you should, love the person you're with like it's Valentine's Day every day of the year.
Are you a romantic, though? What's your ideal Valentine's Day? Are you doing something private at home? Are you hitting up at the town? What are you doing?
Definitely at home. I don't really like to go out just Netflix and chill kind of day. Maybe some snacks where we don't give each other crap for eating terribly, and that would be perfect. Just Valentine's Day with no expectations.
What's the most romantic thing you've ever done for a person?
Wow, it's so hard to say. Well, I think it's I've written songs about people, and I think they're romantic, but I don't always tell them they're about them, so maybe it doesn't count.
Okay, so you're calling it to spill the beans. All right, which song is about me? Let's just put it out there. Might as well tell everyone. No. Okay, so let me flip that around.
No, it's a secret.
Well, yeah. Okay, so let's flip this around. What's the most romantic thing somebody has ever done for you?
Oh. God, I really have to think about that.
See, look at this, everybody. I'm putting him on the spot. He was pulling a fast one by calling into the show, and now he's clamming up on us.
What is the most romantic thing someone's done?
Do you appreciate kind of the little small things that somebody can do, like, you know, getting you your favorite kind of onion dip or something on Valentine's because you can have the unhealthy food, or is it the big plan, like, hey, we're gonna go and see the tropics for a week? Like, what do you appreciate more?
I think the most romantic thing was, like, if I'm already in bed and, like, just, you know, like, watching, like, YouTube or Netflix and, like, someone, like, brings me treats or snacks, I think that would be, like, the most amazing thing. Okay,
what kind of treats? Like, what sort of snacks would be your,
Like, just anything that you could buy at a gas station that's terrible for you. Like Cheetos or, like, Hostess treats or, like, just anything terrible and delicious like that.
What do you think about people professing their love on social media on Valentine's Day? Here's my thought on it, because, you know, I'm married. We certainly don't do the whole gushy kind of a thing. I always just feel that that's between the two of us. But, and I'm sorry to break your heart on this, Steve, but I don't understand the people who, like, do the whole lovey-govey, it's been 5 years, I love you so much, you're the light of my life. Well, tell the person. You don't have to put that publicly on social media. But if you do that, hey, what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I think people, like, you know, if people are doing it just on Valentine's Day, that's one thing, but I think it's more like the people that are just constantly shoving it in your face. And when it starts to feel performative, to me, that's, like, very much an indication that they probably actually don't feel that secure in their relationship. And they're like, it's like, who are you trying to convince, man? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, when you feel the need to constantly perfect your love, maybe that's an indication that deep down you don't feel so secure in it after all.
Well, that's my thing, is that's great that you can take pictures of the flowers and everything that you got on Valentine's Day, but when he's surprising you Wednesday morning just because, show us those pictures then. And that's the true sign of love, I think.
Yeah, I think that would be a wonderful thing. I'm not much like of a gift guy, and like I don't like being surprised, so like I feel like I have enough kind of like surprises in my professional life and things like that. I just want someone to, like, you know, to be there and to love me and, you know, be honest and trustworthy and caring and all that stuff. Like, I don't care if it's some of my relationships I've never even posted about. Like, you would never know I was in a relationship with the person, so I like to kind of, you know, keep that to myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of not into the whole social media thing. That's where I sort of have that opinion. Let's talk about your music then, since that's what everybody knows you for. You made headlines when you first hit the music scene. You know, you came out. Were you feeling pressure to do that? Like, were you worried that it would negatively affect your career, or did you just think that so many people had done it that it should be okay at this point?
No, I just was thinking this is who I am, and I want to be an artist, and part of being, I think, a good artist and a songwriter is bringing your personal experiences into what you do. So it just was a very natural thing for me to do. Like, it's what I always thought I was going to do, and I don't have anything else. You know, I can't compare it to, like, a time before I wasn't out, because I was out on day one of my career. So, yeah, I whenever people ask that, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it hurt me or helped me or anything like that, because I have nothing to compare it to.
What did you think of being defined as a gay music artist? Was that something that, like, I don't consider myself a gay radio host. I'm just a radio host, and I'm a guy, and I happen to like guys. But you're dubbed that in the music industry.
Well, I think that's why it's important to, like, know yourself and know how you define yourself, because then that stuff doesn't necessarily bother you as much. And I don't think it's necessarily, like, malicious when people do that. I think it's just, like, it's something about me that maybe makes me a little different. You know, obviously a big portion of my fan base is gay, so, and, you know, I sing about, you know, being a man that loves other men, so I think it's just kind of like, I don't always think that labels are malicious. Sometimes it could feel, like, tiresome, and it's like, all right, well, you know, I have more to say than that, but I don't know. I don't get too upset about it.
If, when you were first starting out, a record label said, you know what, we want you, you know, singing about women and, you know, liking girls and things like that, would you have done it? Or would you have said, no, that's not me?
I mean, I'd like to think... first of all, I don't think anyone would ever ask me that, because I don't think anyone would believe it for a second. So, yeah, I never had any desire to do that, and I never thought it as, like, a realistic thing. Like, that would never happen. So I've never entertained that idea seriously.
I'm sure you've been asked many times, if you would recommend people doing this, and everybody's life is different, so we can't necessarily say that there's one sure, way to come out. But, if you're in the music business, what do you think about an artist who's sort of on the fence about, do I come out, do I not? Because, there's even rumblings about other artists in the music business right now, and, sometimes we wonder, why does it take so long to come out? So, again, from the music business perspective, what would you tell somebody who's an aspiring artist?
Oh, man, it totally has to be that person's decision. It's really up to them. I don't know what it's like to have to, like, be in the closet for a long period of time, so I don't know what that's like. On one hand, I'm like, man, if you have a great deal going, if you, like, have a fan base that knows you a certain way, and it's not, like, causing you, like, emotional stress, I would say, like, make that money for a couple of years, maybe, and then kind of, like, because sometimes that's the hard thing to do, and, like, you could come out at a later time, like once you've made all your money, like Ricky Martin or something. But I think the world is a different place now, and you probably people don't seem to really care as much. There's plenty of, like, out people. Like Sam Smith has been out pretty much since his entire career, and he's obviously doing amazing. Adam Lambert. There's Troye Sivan. Like, these people are doing fine. So. I would say that, yeah, feel like you could come out, but don't feel pressured to. Don't feel in any kind of rush.
Did you think at any time, though, hey, you know what, if I am out and proud, this could negatively affect my career? Or, like you say, so many people have done it already that I'll be fine?
When I did it in 2013, really, like, everyone that I mentioned except for Adam Lambert, wasn't really around then. Mm-hmm. So I just thought the world we're ready for it as a culture, and I was like, ready or not, like, this is who I am, and I'm not a good faker, and I have I don't want to be. I just want to be myself. So I'm just gonna be out, and never really gave it much thought beyond that.
Okay, let me ask you this then: was sex appeal part of your marketing plan?
I think that I think it always helps to get eyeballs. Like, if you're a person that's nice to look at, that you have nice visuals in your music, like, just like I want to make a song sound beautiful, I want to make, the videos and things that I put out also look beautiful. So, I guess, like, of course.
Let's talk about your upcoming gigs for Valentine's Day and how you're spreading the love.
I always get in trouble with that question. Like, it's like a thing that's, I think, obvious to everyone that, like, looks out into the world. Like, most of the stars that we like, are good-looking people. So I try to take care of myself and try to look good. But obviously, there's a lot more to it than that.
Well, I know you just had a run of shows in Mexico, and you spent a lot of time in our favorite place, Puerto Vallarta. And first of all, how is the wall coming? Is there the wall there yet, or no?
No wall, just
okay.
Lots of tacos.
Okay.
So I'm happy about that.
Hey, tacos on the beach, I think I've had that a few times. But talk about, I guess you could consider it a residency, sort of like a Las Vegas residency. You had a several-month gig there.
Yes. I'm actually in California now. On the 12th, I start my California run in Los Angeles at the Catalina Bar and Grill, and then I'm in San Diego the 13th and 14th at Martini's, and I'm at Toucans in Palm Springs on the 15th and 16th, and then I'm even going up to Sacramento and San Francisco after that.
Oh, so I have to share my Valentine with other Californians. All right, well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. But what else are you working on? Yeah, I know you put out an album last year. What can we expect for the rest of the year then from you?
I'm really just focused on my live shows, and there's some music videos in the pipeline that I'm just there's like some that I'm just figuring out editing still. I like one that I've been working on for over a year and a half that has just been like stuck in editing, and then another one that I'm kind of writing right now, and of course always writing new music, and always working on my live show, and obviously doing a lot of live dates. And I'll be back in Provincetown this summer. It's going to be my third full summer doing a little residency there from July through the middle of September.
All right, so how can people keep in touch with all those dates and all of the busyness you have on the go? I know you're very popular on social media, right?
Yes, so Instagram and Twitter are great places, at Steve Grand Music. My website has all my dates, stevegrand.com. And there's this great app called bandsintown.com, and it's a place where you can follow all your favorite artists, and you get notified when they come to a town near you. So it's, you don't have to like scroll through a bunch of dates. It just, you get a notification when when Steve Grand is, coming to your town.
Oh, well, my Valentine, Steve Grand. I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for calling in. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
You too, Jeremy.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble, talking about social media, and we just heard about Twitter there, and of course we've got this Valentine's theme happening today. I have to think, relationships, I think maybe that's the problem, is that you open yourself up to it. Now, I will be honest with you, I will tell you, up until maybe it was about a year ago, I wasn't even on Instagram, and never posted anything ever about my relationship, ever on Facebook, Twitter, and those are the only two platforms that I'm on, or was on at the time. And it was just my thing, is that, you know what, it's none of your business what's happening in my life. I am not here to, give you all these details about everything. It's just a private life. And it had nothing to do with, being out or anything like that, because, people who are in my life and know or who care about me, and they're fine with it. I really didn't care. And trust me, I have a hot man. If you want my Instagram, at Jeremy D. Bradley, I'm not ashamed of the relationship, but it's very private. And one of the things that happened when we first got together was we had said 3 years ago, we are not doing the pictures of everything. When we are doing alone time at home, it's just alone time at home with the dogs, with the rabbits. It's not meant for everybody. And so there actually really were no pictures of us together around we just didn't do it. We just didn't. And then once one of my employees had said to me, you know what, he's really hot. Like you could be, sort of using this to your advantage. Like he's eye candy. And I said, I know, but we had this agreement that, we're not doing selfies. We're not posting them everywhere. We're not showing all the details of life. You're not going to see the inside of my house ever. And so then we kind of thought about it last year, like I said, about this time last year. And then we just said, you know what, let's just do it at least on Instagram. Again, there's never anything on Facebook, Twitter, the odd time. But because first of all, I don't care that people, or I don't think that people care to know what I'm doing every minute of the day. I have no desire to be a role model, to be, somebody to, look up to my relationship. Don't care. We live for ourselves. And some of the great things are just hanging out at home, spending time on the couch, watching TV, just going for walks with the dogs. Like it's just such a low-key relationship. And I think that that's what makes it work, is that we're not reaching for the phone every minute of the day. We're not, posting to get likes and followers and all this stuff. Because again, I couldn't give two fucks if you think my relationship is good or bad, because it doesn't matter. It matters what I think about the relationship, and it matters what he thinks about the relationship. Did I just swear? I think I just did. But the great thing is, this is the podcast, and you're not going to censor me. I'm ballsy now after half a bottle of wine, let me tell you. But anyway, so I hope you do have a great Valentine's Day. And I'm still one of those people who says that it doesn't need to be February 14th to show your love. get the person flowers on a random Tuesday morning and, make them dinner on Friday night or surprise them with breakfast on Sunday morning, whatever it is. You do those things to show that you love. It doesn't need to be something, commercial and, buying gifts and things. But, I will take diamonds if somebody's going to give them to me. My thanks to all of our celebrity guests. Again, Nancy O'Dell from Entertainment Tonight. Watch CBS. The Grammys are happening Sunday night. I will be live tweeting as well at Jeremy D. Bradley. So you can also creep my relationship pictures at Jeremy D. Bradley. And All-4-One, Mark Walberg from Temptation Island, Tuesday on USA Network. Steve Grand, Brian Justin Crum from America's Got Talent. I'm out of time. I'm out of breath. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you. Live at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com. We are done with another 1 hour super-sized Scribble. Happy Valentine's Day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,